In the greater Northeast Ohio area, hope and healing are closer than you think. At Emerge Counseling Ministries, our licensed faith-based counselors walk with you through life's challenges with compassion and understanding. 97% of our clients would refer us to a friend. 98% truly felt heard, and 84% said they're seeing real improvement. Let your journey begin today. Visit emerge.org. I never thought I'd be hosting a podcast, but we are going strong. Today is a great time for you to get your message out there. And guess what? It's not that hard. Find the right partner. For us at the XM Podcast, that was Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout gets you listed in all the major podcast directories like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Follow the link in the show notes and let Buzzsprout know the XM Podcast sent you. Get a $20 credit after your second paid invoice. It really helps support our show.
Welcome to the XM Podcast. Here is your host, mental health therapist, Matthew Kanabe.
I am very hard on myself, dealt with severe anxiety.
And it made me feel like a monster. I didn't have the energy to care.
There was just nothing more but to face what I had been running from.
I'm already an anxiety-filled mess.
It's just love. Like, it just goes back to love.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Man, I'm better now that I see you.
Dude, I right before we started recording, I normally do an intro, and you were one of my favorite people on the planet, so I'm like, well, let's just start talking.
Let's talk, and I'm concerned that this is going to be a 2-hour.
That's okay. People will hang on.
I love it.
Dude, how are you?
I'm good, and
Yeah.
I'm better now that I see you.
You know, I'm going to let our folks know this. You and I talk on a regular basis all the time.
We do.
And it's one of my favorite things to see come up on my calendar. Jason Burns, Thursday this week. I know that we're going to have a good touch point. And it's been one of my favorite things over the last couple of years that we've gotten to know each other. So
It's been a gift to me. And I wish you lived in my city. I think we would get in trouble. We would be best friends.
We would. We wouldn't get a lot of work done, I'm sure. Or maybe we would get a lot of work done. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We would have a good time.
We would have a good time. So yeah, I was preempted to ask you something about your mother-in-law as we were walking towards where we're recording. So I have no idea what this is, but there you go.
Okay, so the Crosbys love this. Okay. So maybe 15 years ago, I was at a wedding with my mother-in-law and some other people, and it was a Florida outdoor wedding, so very humid. And my mother-in-law is very put together, beautiful woman, but the humidity made her hair just poof out, you know. And so she was turned away from me, and I said, "Hey, Mom," and she turned around, and I surprised her and took a picture of her. Now, the truth is, if I showed you the picture, it's not that bad, but to her, it was the worst picture ever. And so because she freaked out over it, Christmas, I printed it on a canvas, and I gave it to her, and then she got mad at me, and so I put it above her fireplace, and she got mad at me. And so every year since then, I've printed it on something big. And it started with like a Christmas ornament, and then it graduated over time into like a custom stuffed animal. And the last about 5 years have been crazy. I put it on a billboard one Christmas. That was fun. One Christmas, I printed it on. Do you remember? I think they're called LuLaRoe, those women's like yoga pants. So I had some custom printed ones for her, and she opened it and screamed. And as she was doing that, I dropped my jeans, and I was wearing a pair of those. What else have I done? One year, I made a whole video pretending I was getting it as a lower back tattoo. That's funny. This last year was really funny, though. This last year, I gave it to her as a printed suitcase. And for the last like 30 years, she and my father-in-law have wanted to go back to Italy, and they just haven't been able to make it happen. So inside the suitcase, I had a check, and it said, "We'll pay the rest of your way. We want you to go to Italy. 2 conditions. Number 1, you have to go this year. Number 2, you have to take the suitcase." And bro, it went viral, like 4.5 million views on Instagram. And it's just so fun. My family loves it. I mean, I've printed shower curtains, cookie cutters.
Does she appreciate this?
Well, the first year or two, she hated it, but I think she's embraced it. Oh, it's a thing.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, opening Christmas gifts, she has PTSD. Like,
she
you
knows
need
it's
to counsel
coming.
her. Yeah, she knows it.
So if you are a young man out there trying to connect with your mother-in-law,
it's one of my favorite things. And the problem is every year I feel like I have to outdo myself.
Yeah.
And I know that there's going to be a point when I fall off of a cliff because I've pushed it too far.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm having a good
billboard?
time. I did a billboard.
Dude, you're nuts.
And listen, so we get all the way through Christmas, and I have no gifts for her. And then later in the day, I said, hey, guys, come with me. I want to show you a piece of property we're looking at for the church. Just totally lied to her. And somehow I convinced everybody to put her in the front seat. So I'm driving with one hand. I got my camera in the other hand.
She lose her mind?
Oh, she did. And her scream. Bro, go back to my Instagram. It's at I am Jason Burns. And just go back to every Christmas, and you'll see the videos. But her scream is the stuff of legends.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That's so good.
It's so fun.
And you've kept it going. That's the beauty of a joke like that.
Yeah, and there's no budget for it. Like, I will spend anything on it.
Oh, there is no limit to where Jason Burns will go. Well, dude, welcome to the podcast. You and I have been talking about doing this for a very long time, and I'm super glad. You know, you live in Orlando, I'm in Akron. We talk a lot. We don't get to see each other a lot. We're at the same event together. I literally had a cancellation in this hour. I was walking to go get some tea. You and I were texting each other, and there you were. As I was texting you, standing right there, we ran into each other, and I was like, we need to do this, and I just grabbed you, and here we are.
Let's do it. This could be either the best thing or the worst thing ever, but we're going to have a good time.
We have no plan. He's taking pictures as we're doing this. We have no plan. We have an idea of a topic, but the thing is, one, I love having conversations with you. Two, I think where you're coming from, you bring wisdom to our conversations. But three, we are going to talk about an important concept that I do think not only pastors, and we're going to talk about it in the realm of ministry. But here's the thing, man. Everybody needs to practice rest. So let's give me some of your high view concepts around what rest is, why it's important, and why do we not get it right?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think sinning in the area of rest is the one place that we as Christians sin, but we get celebrated for it.
Yeah.
So like if you murder someone, no one's throwing you a parade. But if you say I'm a workaholic and I worked 120 hours last week, you get the promotion or the corner office or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I royally messed this up. So I'm a natural workaholic. You know, it's in my blood. And maybe 10 to 15 years ago, I royally messed this up. So I started a company. I pastor a church that I started. It's gone really well. And then I started a company, and the company just caught fire and took off. So I would work all day for the church, and then I would come home and I would start working, and I would put my kids to bed, and then I would work until midnight or 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 or all night just to get the job done.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a leader of people, one of the things you know is employees will sometimes say, well, I'm so burned out, I'm working all the time. Yeah. And they don't even clock 40 hours, and half of those they're on social media. Yeah. I was legitimately counting 100 plus hours every week for about 18 straight months. And I did such damage to myself, not just physical, but even to my soul.
Yeah.
And again, it's celebrated. It's something people look at and they want what I have. But here's a story that tells you how broken I was. For my 10th wedding anniversary, my wife and I celebrated by going to Hawaii. So I worked myself into oblivion going on that trip. I mean, I was so tired. I slept the whole way there. Literally on the third day, we're walking along a beach near Waikiki on Oahu. And my wife did this weird thing where she ran ahead of me, jumped in front of me, and grabbed my shoulder. And she goes, hi.
Oh, wow.
And I said, hi. And she goes, no, hi. And I said, hi.
Yeah, she was
what
calling
are you
you
doing?
out. Yeah.
She goes, you're finally here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because, like, she nailed it. I was physically there, but not there.
Yeah.
You know the verse in Matthew where Jesus says, do not worry about tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the word worry is this interesting word. It's the Greek word meris, and it literally means to be split or fractured.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we think of worry as being afraid of tomorrow, but worry also means to be physically somewhere, but to be somewhere else.
Oh, that's good.
And I wonder how many of us, that's the story. It's that we're physically there, but our mind, our emotions, our exhaustion has caused us to not be there.
Yeah. And the thing is, I appreciate the fact that you said it's celebrated. You know, you and I were just talking a little bit ago, and I've whether it was my time with Nike or it's been my time with Emerge, I've done a lot of interviews, hiring new people, and that question we ask, tell us some traits about yourself that you would like us to know. Undoubtedly, most people will say, well, I'm a workaholic, and I stop them right there. And I'm like, listen, anything with aholic at the end of it is not a good thing.
Right.
But our culture has turned that into a badge of honor, and I think it is something that we have in our heads and we have to untrain. Because the thing is ultimately, and my guess would be something, if that is the case, something in your life is going to fail. Something else that should be a priority is going to suffer because of that idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the things that we do is we cheat our families because we think to ourselves, well, they love me. And
that's right.
I'm married to her, or they're my kids, and they're going to love me. And so we cheat that thing to prefer work. And at the end of your life, I mean, you're never going to look back and think, man, I wish I would have worked more. But
Absolutely.
You would give anything to go back and spend a morning rolling around, wrestling with your kids on the floor, having tea with your daughter in the kitchen. Like, those are the moments that matter.
Yeah.
And I just think we miss it.
Well, why do you think, and we'll bring this into a pastoral context, why do you think it's so easy for pastors to do this? I don't want to say it's not easy for everybody to do this, but I do see, I mean, so much of the Emerge's ministry is working with pastors who are burnt out.
Yeah.
You know, why is it so easy?
Well, I think it's easy because we conflate the idea of work and working for the Lord. And so there is this Superman complex that we have. Like we think we literally put on our suit and go into a phone booth and change into Superman, and we have to be there for people and we have to be on call for people. I'll tell you, when I figured this piece out, I have lost people in our church because I wouldn't meet with them at 7 o'clock at night. Well, at the end of the day, do I love them? Sure. But I love my family more. And I'm committed to doing ministry the right way for the long haul. I'm committing to not being another one of the statistics or the stories that people share. And part of the way I do that is I honor God. I go to work and I work hard. Like, work is one of the first things in the Garden of Eden. God says, I put you in this place to work this place. So work is a part of our identity. It's a part of who we are, but it's not the truest thing about us. And so when you put that in its proper position, then it changes things for you.
All right. So good. What things... So how long ago was that 18 months that you hit where you were like, I can't keep this up?
Probably about 12 years ago.
Okay, so 12 years ago, you then recognize, I need to make some changes. I think sometimes the first step is one of the most important ones. There's probably 1,000 steps, but you've got to make the first one. If somebody's listening right now, and I'm sure they are, who's in that position, whether they're in ministry, whether they're in whatever career they're at, what was one of the first things you were like, my wife just called me out on the beach. I am now brought to awareness and I need to make an adjustment?
Yeah, I think you just said it. I think it's awareness. I think awareness is the first step. I did my whole doctoral dissertation and came out with this understanding that if we want to help people become better followers of Jesus, it's actually not just about our teaching, it's about raising awareness for them, because many of us float through this life entirely unaware. Do we believe it? Yes. Do we trust Jesus? Yes. But we're just unaware of what he's asked us to do. So, like, I even think this, like, God in all of his infinite wisdom in the 10 Commandments set up a pattern for us of Sabbath. And it's just funny to me. It's like we have to be aware, and then we have to make the critical hard change. So sometimes when I talk to people about their issues, I'll compare it to driving. So driving is a series of constant little corrections, little adjustments. And when you've driven for a long time, you don't even notice it. But every once in a while, there's a moment where traffic stops and you have to make a hard turn. I think to the pastor listening who is burning it at both ends and the middle, this is one of those critical moments where you have to be aware and you have to say, this isn't a little correction, this is a hard correction. So God said, literally, the 10 Commandments are 3 are about the way that we love God, and then it goes into the Sabbath. It's such a big deal that God puts it on the list for us. And we have to make this distinction. If God places it there, it's there for a reason, and I'm going to trust God. So what Sabbath does to me, Sabbath is not about not working. Sabbath is about finding joy and delight. So for me, one of the best pieces of advice I ever heard was, if you work with your hands, Sabbath with your mind. Read a book, do something intellectual. If you work with your mind, do something on Sabbath with your hands. the Pharisees and the religious people in the Bible turned Sabbath into all of these rules and regulations and all to this day. Like when I was in Israel, they had what they called like Sabbath elevators. Have you heard of this?
No.
Where literally it would just stop at every floor because they felt like the act of pushing the button was work.
Whoa.
That misses the whole heart of Sabbath altogether.
Yeah.
Sabbath is a gift, and it's for you. It's not something you do out of obligation to God. It's a gift for you.
You can see why they were freaking out with what Jesus was doing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's important for us to then maybe clearly define, what does a Sabbath look like for you?
So for me, Sunday's obviously a work day. And I think as Christians...
Why, are you busy?
I have this gig.
You got stuff going on?
I do have something going on. I think for a lot of us, though, we think of Sunday as Sabbath, and that might make sense in your context. For me, Sunday's a work day.
Yeah.
So what I've had to learn is I take a 24-hour period. For me, it starts Friday night at dinner with my family, and I go until Saturday night at dinner with my family. And Saturday's about joy and delight. Mm-hmm. Saturday's not work. Saturday's fun. Yeah. Saturday's with the kids. Saturday's sleep in, eat pancakes, have fun. But then Saturday night, I do have to kind of lock in and get myself ready for Sunday. So I used to feel bad about it. It's not that. It's literally I go from Friday dinner to Saturday dinner, all delight, and then Saturday I work. And honestly, I feel like I get more done.
Yeah. So do you do all of your prep for Sunday leading up till Friday, and then you kind of dissociate from it and then dive back in maybe later Saturday night leading into Sunday?
Here's what I found works best for me. Is in our system, I need to have my message notes turned in by Wednesday at lunchtime, and that's for them to print fill-in-the-blank notes. By that time, I'm pretty much hands off of it. I try not to work on it because as long as I know that I've got something, Saturday night, I re-engage with it. And Saturday night's when I put what I'd call the fluff. That's the funny stories, the jokes. That's when I put that on it and I get my head fully around it. Mm-hmm. But if I do that, and if I'm done by Saturday at, say, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
It's when I end up working too much on it, or when I break my own rule and work on it on Friday night or Saturday morning, that's when it feels like it just never really connects.
Yeah. So we've got Sabbath, but that's not the whole picture of rest. There's other aspects of rest. There's sometimes you just got to walk away for a period of time. And then the other thing is, and you and I have talked about this quite a bit, because I think you and I are both aligned in taking care of our bodies, getting proper sleep. You know, obviously when you were doing the 100+ hours, I mean, you probably, I mean, you weren't even getting 4 maybe sometimes.
Right.
I mean, that as a mental health therapist, I just want to shake you and be like, dude,
please do. I still need it.
You cannot survive in the body that God gave you by doing that. So talk a little bit beyond Sabbath then. There's other aspects of rest. What are some of those things that come to mind?
Well, I think everybody needs to figure out what I call a cornerstone habit. And so for me, what that means is it's the thing that if you do this, everything else is good. So in 2020, what a great year that was. In 2020, I figured out that my cornerstone habit is actually exercise. And I'm not the greatest athlete of all time, but I found that CrossFit works for me. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And so I have found that when I go to CrossFit at least 3 or 4 times a week, everything else in my life feels good. My time with God is better. My time with my wife is better. My time with my kids is better. I'm better on the job. So you got to figure that out. And then I also think you need to build into your life a rhythm of vacating, a rhythm of getting out of your normal habits. And so for me, that means a date day or a date night. Every single week, I vacate my responsibilities and my only focus is on my wife. It means that like every year, I need to build into my schedule a vacation. One of the things that I do is when my wife and I travel, she likes to chill and relax on a place. But every summer I take my 2 boys on we call it mancation. And we do stupid stuff. Like we go whitewater rafting, or a couple years ago, I made the mistake of doing this but not telling my wife until after we went paragliding. That's when you jump off of a mountain.
Oh.
And it was awesome.
How'd that go?
Well, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the problem. I told someone at the office, and they told my wife 30 minutes before we jumped off the the mountain. And then, so she was mad at me, but I'm like, well, we already paid for it. And then we go up the mountain, and this was the mistake. We get up there, and these two guys go, okay, we can only do 2 at a time. And so I send my boys together, and my prayer life has never been better. But it was cool as I could watch them, but then they went around the mountain, and I couldn't see them anymore. And I thought, well, this is where I die.
How did your wife feel about this?
Well, she wasn't happy with me, but then I called her afterwards and she was mad, and I'm like, but look how happy they are.
But how did your boys respond to that?
The text I got, all caps, that was the best day of my life. It was awesome.
That's good. So I think the other thing with vacation, and I'm guilty of this, if you don't plan it, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it was last year was my first year in the role that I'm currently in. And it was like September or October, and my wife and I are like, we have not taken a week off this year.
Yeah.
And it was something that kind of like, oh, I didn't even think about it. It like dawned. It was such a heavy front on the new role. Those things can sneak up on you. But guess what else can sneak up on you? 1 year, 2 years.
Yep.
3 years. I know I have worked with pastors, and they've been like, I haven't taken a vacation in 12 years.
Right.
That's nuts.
Well, it's funny because there's always time for what matters to you.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of us think, well, how can I do this? And I don't have the luxury of having a larger church and a staff. And so we come up with a bunch of excuses.
Yeah.
But I like to tell people, if the life of your child was on the line and you had to get a certain amount of money or figure something out, you would move heaven and earth to do that.
Yeah.
What if I told you the condition of your soul is on the line?
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of yourself, you will kill yourself. I heard some scholar, and I'm going to mess the quote up, but he said it's hard to have a spiritual impact without a physical body, something like that. And you can run yourself into the ground in the name of honoring God and unintentionally dishonor God and not walk in His blessing.
Well, and the other thing is, what version of your family, or what version of yourself are you giving your family? What version of yourself are you giving your church? There's a certain point where you're not even operating at a level that you're making an impact.
Well, here's a good mental question for you. Are you working hard to rest, or are you working hard from rest?
Yeah.
And it's not semantics, but I think the Christian mentality should be, we don't work for the weekend. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
We work hard from a place of rest. It's because we're rested. So what it means is, it means work gets my best energy. It means my family gets my best energy. They get the best version of me. And I think what a lot of people do is they grind themselves down to nothing, and then they wait for the hoping that Saturday they'll sleep in and feel better.
Yeah.
That's not the way it should be.
So my guess would be then, you're modeling this for your staff.
Yes.
How do you help them stay accountable? As lead pastor, and I'm sure there's a lot of them listening right now, how do you help your staff fall into this culture, and what kinds of things do you implement?
Well, I model it, first of all. I go home every day at 4:30. It doesn't matter what's still to be done. I go home at 4:30. It is not a badge of honor to work till 10 o'clock at the office. It's not. So I would do that. Number 2 is we have a crazy generous time off policy. And I tell our staff, use it or lose it, but we want you to use it. It's there for you. It's a gift to you, and please use it. And then something else we did that I don't know anyone that does this, but on top of a generous time off policy with built-in time at Thanksgiving and Christmas, additional days, we started something that we call God Days. And the point of a God Day is, it's 4 or 6 times a year. It's a day that you schedule off the same way you would schedule a vacation day off, but your work is to go be with God.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of pastors and ministers, we minister from a place of depletion. We're empty, we're tired, we're broken. And a God day is a work day where the work is connect with God. So if that means that sitting at the beach and praying and worshiping, is that for you? Great. If it means laying in a hammock and reading your Bible, great. But however you connect with God, we want you to connect with God. Yeah. And then we spot check people on it. It's not just a free day off. It's a work day, but the work day is to fill your cup.
I'm sure you've noticed this. I've been in some form of ministry almost my whole life. And I think at large, the church has got it wrong. And that when you're working in ministry, we put a lot of expectations of people to wear 30 different hats. We don't pay them what that would be accustomed to, whatever that job is. And then we just wear people out. I have seen church and church and church. And I get it, because a lot of places don't have resources and whatever. But the thing is that there's an end game to that. That's not going into a fruitful place for the church. what would you say to somebody who's pastoring a church? It's like, oh, that sounds great, Jason, but I'm not I've got 3 people and they're working 90 hours a week and I'm paying them for a quarter of a person.
It's a great question. What I would say is, when you play by God's rules, you get God's results. Okay, that's a big principle. So to the person who's like, oh, God, make me fit, make me healthy, and all they do is crush fast food 3 times a day, like you're playing outside of God's rules, so obviously you're not going to get God's results. What I would say is you need to figure out what you can let go of for the sake of rest, and trust that like here's what Sabbathing really does, is it reminds your soul that you're not the one spinning the world. Mm-hmm. It reminds your soul that God is ultimately the one that's in charge, calling the shots. So what I would rather do is cheat my job a little bit. I'm still going to work as hard as I can. When I'm there, you're getting 100% from me. Yeah. But when I leave, I'm done. And what I do is I trust that God's going to fill in the gaps. Yeah. And I would rather trust God to supernaturally provide, whether it's money or people or leaders or whatever it is. I'd rather trust God to provide than me giving it 7 days a week, 20 hours a day, all of my effort.
And don't you think you get more out of people on a healthy productivity level versus them exhausting themselves, working 12-hour days, 16-hour days, whatever it may be? I can't imagine the work you're getting is at a very high level.
Well, and my hope is that they see it and stay with us. So I think that's one of the challenges, is a lot of churches, they look successful on the outside, but if you look behind the bus they're driving, there's a wake of dead bodies of people they've just killed along the way. Yeah. For me, it's not perfect, but a lot of our staff has been with us for a very long time. And I think when you see that we genuinely care for your soul, yes, sure, we want to grow the church because people matter to God, but we're not going to grow the church and sacrifice you and your family on the altar of ministry. When you see that, and when you genuinely care for people and take care of people, are they going to work harder? Yes. Are they going to stay with you? Yes. Does that make everything easier? Absolutely it does. Yeah. So I think killing people in the short term is a very short-term win. But caring for their soul and playing the long game is actually the best way to grow a church.
That's good. I know I don't have a ton of time with you because you got a bunch of stuff going on, but if there was something you would like to leave our audience with in this vein, anything you would like to share that's on your heart?
Well, you didn't ask me to do this. We didn't even talk about this before. Yeah. But I'm one of the proud alumni of the soul care retreats. Yeah. And we did that 2 years ago or so.
We did, yeah.
And it was 3 days, 2 hours a day. And I walked in heavy. And I walked out with my shoulders back, walking with a sense of holy confidence. Yeah. Nothing was broken or wrong. I didn't come to you because I was in crisis or dealing with some sort of issue. Yeah. I came to you saying, in the same way that I want to take care of my car so that it runs efficiently, I want to take care of my soul so that my soul runs efficiently. And honestly, man, connecting with you, what I gained from that, and then what I carry into tomorrow has been so good because of this. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you were one of my, I don't want to say favorite.
You can say it.
But what I mean by that is because you were ahead of what potentially, if unaddressed, could have been. I work with so many people who have gotten to me because they didn't see the red flags, they didn't address things, and then all of a sudden they end up with addiction issues, moral failure, whatever it may be. I have been waving this flag since you and I started a couple years ago of please get in front of it before. And the thing is, you came to Emerge and was like, man, I'm pastoring a church through 2020. That's a lot. I'm carrying some weight, leading this team and whatever. And it's like, man, the ability to process that stuff versus internalizing and holding on to that. Because I don't know, maybe in another 2 years, 4 years, it would have reared its ugly head one way or another.
Can I tell a personal story? I don't know if this breaks HIPAA laws or whatever. One of the things
we already broke like 30 of them.
Okay.
So.
Well, one of the things I came in to you with was the sense that so many people were against me, and I carried such hurt and bitterness and frustration towards people. Yeah. And you asked me to go home and do homework and to make a list of all the people that I was carrying the weight of what they did. And I think my list was 6 people. And it's funny how
But it felt like 10,000.
in my mind it was 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And I think for pastors, you just need a safe place to unload that. You need a safe place to, just to be raw and honest and real. And again, what it does for your soul. You made the point a moment ago. It's easier to take care of something when it's healthy than to let it get unhealthy and try to fix it in crisis mode.
Yeah.
Same with your body. It's easier to stay healthy and to stay fit than it is to gain a lot of weight and then over time try to lose the weight again. In the same way, it's better to take care of your soul now when things are fine than to let it get broken. And I mean, how many pastors have to fall? How many moral failures do we have to have?
For sure.
When if you could just get ahead of it. I think every pastor that gets into ministry has a good heart. They want to honor God, love their wife, love their family, love their kids. They want to do it the right way for the long haul, but somewhere along the line, they stop paying attention to the check engine light of their soul.
Yeah. Well, what you said earlier is the concept of worry and the way that it's worded in Scripture. When you start to break down, when you become fractured, it's harder and harder to put that protective stuff around you. It's easier and easier to fall into temptation, allow sin to creep in. And that's the thing, man. When I'm alert and I'm feeling good and I'm eating right and I've got rest and I'm prioritizing things right, it's hard for me to fall into a mistake or whatever. So I think that's the encouragement. Dude, I'm so glad that we were able to spend
this. This was fun.
It was fun. We're going to do it again.
Absolutely.
We may end up with you and me just doing a podcast.
Let's do it.
Dude, I appreciate you. I think the world of you. You're at Access Church in Lakeland, Florida. So anybody in that area, I'm sure they can check it out online.
Absolutely. www.access.tv.
Cool. Dude, it's great to see you in person. We need to make more efforts.
I know. I love you. I'm so excited to see you.
I love you too, buddy. Thank you so much. It's really hard not to like that guy. It's great every time he and I connect, and I appreciate his wisdom and friendship greatly. See, rest is imperative, and if you are thinking you are doing the world a benefit by burning yourself out, well, you're missing your potential and your impact. I hope this podcast reminds you of a friendship or a connection that is important to you, and I would encourage you to reach out to them now and let them know that they matter. Well, until next time, or when our Savior comes, God bless.